Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking some really compelling ideas, cutting through the noise to get you straight to the insights you need.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so we're diving headfirst into a truly fascinating source today. It's called Mindset Mastery for Wealth and Personal Transformation.
Yeah.
And our mission, really, for you listening, is to extract the core wisdom, the actionable strategies from this material.
Right.
We're focusing on how a deliberate shift in your mindset can genuinely lead to profound life changes and, yes, even a significant increase in your income.
Which is a big promise.
It is. And this isn't just theory. That's the key thing. The author shares this really powerful personal journey. They went from deep financial struggle to achieving, substantial wealth. And they attribute every single bit of it to specific practices and, crucially, a conscious mindset shift. It really feels like a testament to the power of our internal world.
Yeah, it's a compelling promise, isn't it? And what's often overlooked, I think, especially when we talk about things like wealth, is just how profound the impact of our internal landscape actually is.
Totally.
Most of us, at some point feel stuck. It's almost like there's this invisible force holding us back, right?
Yeah.
And this source, it really shines a light on that internal mechanism. It basically proposes that our outer reality is fundamentally just a reflection of our inner state.
A mirror, almost.
Exactly. And that understanding this connection, that's the very first step towards truly transforming it.
Okay. Exactly. And the source, well, it doesn't waste any time getting into it. It makes a pretty bold claim right from the start. It says your mindset isn't just some nice to have, a soft skill. It argues it's a direct, an undeniable catalyst for transforming your life and significantly increasing your income.
Wow. Okay.
And this isn't just about working harder or, putting in longer hours. That's not the core message. It's fundamentally about thinking differently, operating from a completely different mental framework.
Right. A different starting point.
Precisely. And what really brings this home for me is that it's not just abstract theory. The author grounds every single concept in their own incredibly vivid personal journey.
That makes a difference.
It really does. They recount in pretty stark detail their path from what sounds like genuinely difficult financial struggle. They explicitly mention, accumulating significant debt, facing obstacles that seemed insurmountable,
Wow.
to achieving what they describe as a state of true financial freedom. And here's the real kicker. They state unequivocally that this entire transformation, their whole success story, it's directly attributed to specific, consistent practices, and crucially, that very conscious, deliberate shift in their mindset.
Okay.
It's right there for you. A tangible, real-world example of what this actually looks like in practice.
And this personal testimony, it really resonates deeply with a truth we see across, various fields of human achievement, doesn't it?
It does, like in sports or...
Yeah, high-performance sports, entrepreneurial success, even profound personal growth. If we connect this to the bigger picture, many truly transformative changes don't actually begin with external factors. It's not usually about new opportunities suddenly appearing or getting more resources dropped in your lap.
Right.
They almost always start with an internal shift, a fundamental change in mindset. This internal recalibration, it then acts like the engine,
Driving things forward.
Exactly. Driving completely different external actions, leading you to make new choices, and ultimately producing dramatically different results. The source makes a really strong case that it's about aligning your inner world, your beliefs, your expectations, with the outer reality you want.
Okay.
And that's precisely what the author seems to have done to overcome their financial challenges.
Okay, so if that's the transformative power, the big question is, how? How does it actually work?
Yeah, the mechanics.
Exactly. The source immediately dives into the mechanics of the mind. It introduces the central, powerful theme, the profound and often hidden influence of your mind. Specifically, it distinguishes between the conscious and the subconscious.
Like is key.
It really is. I want you to just take a moment and consider how much of your daily life, your automatic decisions, those knee-jerk reactions, your default emotional responses, how much of that actually operates on pure autopilot?
Probably a lot more than we think.
Right. The author describes these as ingrained paradigms. Think of them not just as beliefs, but as these deeply grooved mental pathways, almost like well-worn trails in your mind that you follow without even realizing it.
Okay.
These are the underlying patterns, the deep-seated beliefs, the habitual ways of thinking that, often without us consciously realizing it, profoundly influence our daily behaviors.
And therefore, our results.
And consequently, our results. Exactly. It's like your subconscious has this default operating system, and it's kind of running the show most of the time.
And it's this default operating system, as you put it, that the source argues is often the real root cause of our struggles.
Makes sense.
What's fascinating here, and something the author really emphasizes, is that not all paradigms are, created equal. They introduce this really compelling distinction, categorizing them into what they call limiting narratives.
Okay.
Those stories we tell ourselves about money, about success, about our own capabilities, and entrenched habits. The automatic actions we take based on those stories.
So the story leads to the action.
Precisely. For instance, the author recounts this powerful limiting narrative they held for years. Something like, I'll always struggle financially because my parents did, and that's just my family's lot.
Yeah, I can see how that would stick.
Totally. And this narrative then led to these entrenched habits, like maybe avoiding looking at bank statements or putting off difficult financial decisions, procrastinating. And this really raises an important question for you listening. How much of your daily action is truly a conscious choice versus just a programmed response from these ingrained paradigms? These subconscious drivers are incredibly powerful, yet they often operate hidden from our direct awareness. They're like the silent directors of our choices and perceptions.
Guiding things from behind the curtain.
Exactly. Which makes identifying them the crucial first step toward any kind of intentional, lasting change. You simply can't change what you don't acknowledge, right?
It's true.
And the Force apparently offers specific reflective exercises to help you actually pinpoint your personal limiting narratives.
Right. Okay, so if our paradigms are essentially steering the ship, often without our conscious input, how do we actually, grab the wheel? How do we chart a new, more intentional course?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is. And the source outlines 2 absolutely essential practices for this kind of mindset mastery. First, it's all about setting clear goals. And here's where the source gets really specific. These aren't just vague wishes, oh, wouldn't it be nice if thoughts? No. They're described as definite, tangible, and really emotionally charged objectives.
Emotionally charged. Interesting.
Yeah. The authors spent considerable time detailing how they would write out their financial goals with almost obsessive precision. Not just a number like, I want X amount,
right,
but what that number would feel like, what it would allow them to do, even where the money would physically reside, visualizing it. They emphasize that the clarity needs to be so sharp, so specific, that you can truly visualize it down to the last detail.
Wow, that's detailed.
It really is. And second, the other key practice is consistent learning through repetition.
Repetition, okay.
The idea here is that these new thoughts, the new beliefs, the desired behaviors they have to be consistently reinforced, ingrained into your mind.
Makes sense.
This process is actually much like how those old, undesirable paradigms got formed in the first place, through repeated exposure and acceptance over time.
Right. We weren't born with them.
Exactly. The author talks about things like daily affirmations, visualization practices, and deliberately consuming specific types of content books, audio that aligned with their new goals. It's like effectively overwriting the old programming with new, empowering directives.
So it's an active process.
Very active, an ongoing process of mental recoding.
And what's fascinating here is the active, deliberate role the individual takes in their own mental programming. It sounds a lot like training for a specific skill or maybe preparing an athlete for a competition.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
The why behind these practices is profoundly important too. Those clear, precise goals, as the source describes them, they serve as this really potent target for your subconscious mind.
Like giving it coordinates.
Exactly. When you give your subconscious a clear destination, it starts to organize resources, it shifts your perceptions, it even seems to attract opportunities to move you toward that aim, often in ways you wouldn't consciously anticipate. It's almost as if your internal GPS finally gets a specific address.
Okay, I like that.
And the consistent repetition, well, that's the actual mechanism that helps build and strengthen new neural pathways, new mental frameworks in the brain.
Rewiring.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Effectively overriding and replacing those old limiting paradigms. It's not about just wishing for change. It's about systematically engineering it through daily deliberate engagement.
Right.
The author recounts instances where, despite initial discouragement, maybe things weren't happening fast enough.
Yeah, the impatience factor.
Totally. But their relentless repetition of new beliefs eventually began to manifest in tangible opportunities, which then reinforced the power of consistency over just fleeting motivation.
That's huge. Okay, now let's shift gears slightly and challenge a common societal assumption, something the source really turns on its head.
Okay.
It presents this truly unique and I think thought-provoking perspective on money. It suggests that money isn't just something you earn through work in the traditional sense, trading hours for dollars. That's what most of us are taught, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Instead, it argues that money is actually an idea.
An idea.
An idea that is earned through service.
Okay, unpack that a bit. Service.
Yeah, it's a huge shift, isn't it? And the source takes money as service even further. It suggests it's not just about what you do for others, but it's the mental framework of abundant giving that actually precedes the financial return.
Okay, so the mindset comes first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It argues that by truly internalizing this service mindset, by genuinely seeking to solve problems and add value for others, you actually start to see opportunities for value creation that were completely invisible to you before. It shifts your entire economic paradigm. I mean, I want you to just consider the implications of this distinction. How might thinking of money as an idea directly link to the value you provide through intentional service rather than just effort or time? How might that change your entire approach to earning it?
Yeah.
And maybe more deeply, how might it transform your very relationship with money itself, moving it from something you kind of chase to something you attract by being of benefit?
That's a powerful reframe. And it sounds central to the author's own transformation.
It seems to be.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this perspective fundamentally shifts the pursuit of wealth. It moves it away from merely exchanging your time for dollars, which is a very linear way of thinking,
Right, limited.
to a more dynamic process of creating and delivering tangible, meaningful value to other people.
Yeah.
And this isn't just semantics. It feels like a profound paradigm shift that encourages an outward focus.
How so?
Well, this perspective inherently encourages innovation, right? It
Yeah.
pushes you to think about problems you can solve, needs you can meet, unique contributions you can make.
Okay.
It fosters problem solving and a real focus on how you can genuinely benefit others. The author gives an example, I think, of moving from thinking, how can I earn more money, which is very inward focused, to asking, what unique problem can I solve for a large number of people? See this shift.
Yeah, totally different question.
And what's interesting is that when you focus on truly serving others with that kind of mindset, abundance naturally tends to follow. It's about becoming a valuable contributor, not just a recipient waiting for a paycheck.
So your income becomes a measure of value delivered.
It essentially makes your income a direct measure or maybe a reflection of the value you've successfully delivered into the world.
That's powerful. Okay, so bringing all these threads together now, the ultimate aim, the real goal of the method described in Mindset Mastery for Wealth and Personal Transformation. It seems to be teaching you how to consciously alter your perceptions
Right.
and how to effectively utilize your higher mental faculties to achieve your desired financial outcomes.
Higher mental faculties, okay.
Yeah, and when we talk about higher mental faculties, the source frames these not as just abstract ideas, but as active levers you can consciously pull.
Levers, okay, like what?
Like imagination, for instance.
Yeah.
It isn't just daydreaming in this context. The author meticulously describes daily visualization exercises where they would mentally live in their desired financial future.
Really feel it.
Exactly. Experiencing the emotions, the details, the feeling of already having achieved it. Will became the consistent force they applied to that repetition we talked about, even when initial results were nowhere in sight. Explicitly combating the urge to quit.
That takes discipline.
It does. Reason was used to dissect limiting beliefs, to logically dismantle the old narratives that held them back. And intuition became the sharpened tool for spotting opportunities that their purely rational mind might have missed. So these aren't just passive functions, they're presented as active, creative instruments for deliberate thought and creation, designed to move you beyond just reacting to your circumstances.
This is really where you move theoretically from being unconsciously driven by those ingrained paradigms we discussed.
Right, the autopilot.
To consciously, actively shaping your reality. All the previous points we've discussed, understanding the profound, often hidden power of your mind. Identifying those specific limiting narratives and entrenched habits, setting those precise, clear, emotionally charged goals, committing to consistent learning through repetition.
Yeah.
And even redefining your entire perspective on what money truly represents, all of these contribute directly to this ultimate mastery of your perceptions and your mental
It
faculties.
all ties together.
It's presented as an integrated system,
Yeah.
designed to empower you to be the architect of your own future, rather than just, a passenger along for the ride.
Right.
And this raises, I think, an important question for you listening as we wrap up.
Hmm.
What perceptions might you need to consciously alter right now, using these very faculties, to begin unlocking your desired outcomes?
Good question.
What mental lens are you currently viewing your potential through, and how might you deliberately shift it, starting today?
Wow, what an incredible journey we've taken in this deep dive. We've gone from understanding the profound, often invisible power of your mind and that hidden influence of ingrained paradigms, those deep mental grooves, to implementing practical, specific steps like precision goal setting and that consistent, deliberate mental recoding through repetition.
Yeah, the active part.
The active part. And we've even hopefully transformed our perspective a little on what money truly represents, shifting it from just work or effort to this idea of service that demands value creation.
The big shift.
It really is. So what does this all mean for you as you move forward from here? The source, Mindset Mastery for Wealth and Personal Transformation. It doesn't just offer anecdotes. It really provides what seems like a clear, actionable method for transforming your life and significantly increasing your income, all through a deliberate and conscious shift in mindset. It's truly a testament to the incredible, often untapped power within you.
And as you reflect on all this, maybe consider how much of your current reality is truly a reflection of those deeply ingrained beliefs and paradigms.
Oh, ones we might not even see.
Yeah, exactly. Beliefs you might not even be aware of, operating quietly in the background. And then maybe think about what one small, consistent action you might take this week.
Just one thing.
Just one thing. Perhaps a daily 5-minute visualization, or maybe catching yourself and rephrasing a limiting narrative when it pops up. Just begin consciously shifting one of those paradigms.
Yeah.
The author's journey really reminds us that the smallest, most deliberate internal shift, when consistently applied, can ripple outwards into massive, transformative change. It can set you on an entirely new trajectory.
What a fantastic challenge. To leave you with the power is truly in your perception and how you choose to direct it. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into mindset mastery for wealth and personal transformation.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll catch you next time.